Hi everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on Before Arriving in Canada. I'm Shamila, the International Student Connect Program Coordinator at Cost Immigrant Services. I will be guiding you through this webinar today. Thank you so much for joining. In my presentation, I will share several links with you. You are not required to write them down, as we will provide you with the web links at the end of the webinar. Deciding to study abroad is exciting, but it also comes with a lot to prepare for. You have been accepted to a program in Ontario, which is a big step. So congratulations. So what now? This webinar will walk you through what you need to do to get ready for your studies in Ontario. This webinar will cover pre-arrival preparation, travel documents, police clearance and medical, fees and course registration, and traveling with family members. We will first talk about pre-arrival preparation. Once you receive your offer of admission, your first step is to accept the offer and confirm that you plan to attend. If you are planning to live on campus, be sure to inform your school and submit a housing application if required. Next, check your school's academic calendar for important deadlines. Make sure to pay your tuition fees by the deadline. Otherwise, you won't be able to register for classes. And finally, register for your courses before the term begins. Each school has its own schedule and process, so follow their instructions closely. There's no specific time limit on how early you can arrive in Canada before your program starts. Just make sure to give yourself enough time to settle in and prepare. Keep in mind, you are not allowed to work on or off campus until your studies officially begin. If your study permit has already been approved and you decide to change your designated learning institution, you will need to submit a new study permit application with a new letter of acceptance. There is a Government of Canada website that provides step-by-step information, and the web links are given on this slide. Now we will cover the travel documents. You will need a valid passport to enter Canada. Make sure that your passport is valid up until at least 6 months after your arrival to Canada. It is also a good idea to create paper copies of your passport in case of an emergency. The web link given here provides information on everything you need to know and do before going to Canada. You will need a study permit to study in Canada. Before you apply for a permit, you must have a letter of acceptance from a Canadian college or university. It can take a long time to complete the process, so you should begin the application immediately. You will need the following documents to apply for the study permit. You will need letter of acceptance from the designated learning institution, provincial attestation letter or territorial attestation letter, passport, proof of financial support. You must prove that you can support yourself and the family members who come with you while you are in Canada. To enter Canada, you must have a valid passport, the letter of introduction that the visa office sent you when they approved your study permit, a copy of a valid letter of acceptance from your school, letters of reference, or any other documents the visa office told you to bring, a valid electronic travel authorization, a valid visitor visa, a valid green card or equivalent official proof of US status, or another valid document, enough money for your stay. You should be in good health and have no criminal or immigration related convictions. You must convince an immigration officer that you have ties that will take you back to your home country and you will leave Canada at the end of your studies. You have valid immigration medical exam results. Your exam is valid for 12 months from the day you get it. If your exam will expire before you enter Canada, you need to get another medical exam. Now we will cover police clearance and medical. A police certificate is a check of your criminal record. It may be called something else in your country, such as a police clearance certificate, a criminal background check, a good conduct certificate, or a judicial record extract. Police certificates are used to ensure applicants do not pose a security risk. Police certificates are not a standard requirement for study permit application, but Canadian visa officers may request one during the process. If you are asked to submit a police certificate, apply for one immediately to avoid delays in your study permit application. You can learn more about a police certificate on the web link that is given on this slide. You must be in good health to apply for a study permit. The need for a medical exam depends on where you have lived the year before you plan to come to Canada. Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, IRCC, lists the countries whose residents must have a medical check. Visit a panel doctor, which is a doctor approved by Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, and get a full medical examination before taking the flight to Canada. There are no national vaccination requirements in Canada, but your institution may require you to have certain vaccinations. Before you arrive, make sure to contact your institution to learn of any immunization requirements. Also, if you have a critical medical condition that requires prescription drugs, you may want to bring enough with you to last your entire time abroad, if possible. Prescription drugs must be carried in correctly labeled containers to prevent being mistaken for illegal drugs. Bring along a copy of your medical records in case of an emergency overseas. The website shown on the slide, this is a web link that provides information on medical exam. There are hundreds of flights every day to cities across Canada. Make sure to book a flight that gives you time to settle in before your studies begin. Most international flights to Ontario land at Toronto's Pearson International Airport. Some international flights also arrive at Ottawa's Macdonald Cartier International Airport. There are regular flights to Ontario from other Canadian cities such as Montreal and Vancouver. It is also very common to connect to Toronto or Ottawa through American cities such as Los Angeles, San Francisco, Atlanta, Houston, Miami, and New York. If your flight to Ontario has a connection in the United States, be sure to check the visa requirements. If you would normally need a tourist visa to visit the United States, you will need to apply for a transit visa for your connection in the United States. If you are from a country in the visa waiver program, you will need to apply for the electronic system for travel authorization. There are regular flights from Toronto and Ottawa to other cities in Ontario. However, When traveling in the southern part of the province, the train or bus may be a less expensive alternative. There are also shuttle and bus services to communities near major airports in the province. Now we will cover fees and course registration. Your school will let you know when tuition and other fees are due, which is usually in the academic calendar. Make sure to check how you can pay and if they offer installment plans. Just keep in mind, if you don't pay on time, you won't be able to register for your classes. You must register for courses before the beginning of the school term. Check with your school for information about the course registration schedule, the course calendar or list of courses, and the procedure for registration. Most of this information will be found on your school's website. Your school will provide you with a student ID or username and password to use their online system. Be sure you understand which courses are required and register for those courses first. Note that you should take any necessary assessment tests before course registration to ensure you register for the correct courses. Once your registration is complete and confirmed, check your timetable to ensure you have the correct courses and that there are no scheduling overlaps. You will be able to change your schedule by adding or withdrawing from a course or courses. However, there are restrictions and a deadline for making changes. Check your institution's academic calendar for the withdrawal deadline, which may also be called drop or add deadline. If you miss the drop deadline, you will be asked to pay for the course even though you didn't take it. When you arrive in Canada, you will need a place to stay. There are two main types of student housing in Ontario: on campus and off campus. On campus housing consists of residences on or near campus. These residences may include dormitories and cafeterias or apartment style suites with kitchens, or a combination of both. Contact your institution about student accommodations on campus. If you do not wish to live on campus, you may find off campus housing that includes private student residences, homestays, and rental housing. Private student residences provide similar facilities to on campus housing but are not affiliated with the school. Homestays provide private rooms and some meals, as well as the support of a homestay family. Rental housing is the most common type of off campus housing. Most rental housing agreements begin on the first day of the month and rent is paid by the month. It can take some time to find off campus housing. On campus housing has strict move in dates, but many colleges and universities will allow you to move in a few days early if you make arrangements in advance. If you plan to arrive before your move-in date, or you plan to find off-campus housing after you arrive, you will need to secure temporary accommodation. Temporary housing options include hotels, travelers' hostels, and short-term holiday rentals. Your university or college may also rent rooms during the summer months. Student insurance plans are effective during the school term only. If you arrive in Canada before your plan begins, you will need additional medical insurance. You can contact the institution you are applying to for more information about health insurance or opt for private insurance. If you have a valid study permit, you can bring your family members, such as a spouse or common law partner, and dependent children to Canada during your study period. Each family member must meet specific immigration requirements. Taking your family with you means you will require enough funds to support each family member. If you are coming to Canada as an international student, your spouse or common law partner might be able to join you and even work while you're studying. In some cases, they can apply for an open work permit, which means they can work for any employer in Canada. This usually applies if you have a valid study permit and you are enrolled in a master's degree program of 16 months or longer, doctoral degree program, or certain professional degree program at a university. So, what are the documents required? Your spouse or common law partner must provide one of the following documents to prove your enrollment in a program or study. This includes a valid letter of acceptance from your designated learning institution, a proof of enrollment letter from your designated learning institution, and transcripts from your current program. Additional documents such as proof of their relationship to you may also be required. Minor children are those under the age of 17. Parents or legal guardians must provide proof that the child will receive adequate care and support during their stay in Canada. Your family members may need to obtain medical exams and provide police certificates. Take a look at the web links on this slide. These web links cover information on open work permit for spouse or common law partner and details about studying in Canada as a minor. To stay within airline baggage allowances, international students should try to pack lightly. Remember that you can purchase any clothing or school materials you may need. However, you should bring some personal items from home to help you feel more comfortable as you adjust to life in Ontario. Students in Ontario dress casually for class and social events, but do wear formal clothing for special occasions. You may need business attire for work or professional activities. However, you may also want to bring some traditional cultural clothing for special events. You will need warm clothing and outwear in Canada. If cold weather clothing is expensive in your country, plan to bring extra money to purchase what you need in Canada. If you are staying in a student residence, you will need to bring your own bed linen and towels. If you are renting a room or apartment, you may also need additional household supplies. These can be purchased once you arrive. Most students find they need a laptop computer and smartphone, and perhaps even a tablet. You can bring these items with you or plan to purchase them when you arrive. Note that smartphone or other mobile phone may not work on the Canadian network. Make sure to keep a list of emergency contacts with you while in Canada. This list should include your name and your address in Canada, contact information for any personnel contacts in Canada, like your family member or friend, and contact information for your institution of study, also contact information for your embassy in Canada. Consider setting up a Canadian bank account in advance. Even if you have a banking card already, opening a Canadian bank account will help you avoid foreign exchange fees and other complications. If possible, it's also a good idea to arrive in Canada with some Canadian currency. You can find information on Canadian banking at this web link given on this slide. After you have completed all the steps above, make sure to book a virtual appointment with a counselor from your college or university. The counselor from your institution will be able to answer any other questions you have. They can give you a better idea of what to expect when you arrive on campus. And finally, it is a good idea to schedule an in-person meeting with a counselor from your college or university shortly after you arrive in Canada. Here's a quick summary of what to keep in mind. Bring personal items from home. Pack mostly casual clothes, but don't forget one formal outfit. Include your traditional or cultural clothing if you would like to wear it at events. Bring essential electronics like a laptop and smartphone. Don't forget basics like bed linens and towels. Submit your housing application as early as possible through your college or university portal as spaces fill up quickly. If on campus is not available, explore local rental listings, student housing services, or community Facebook groups. Confirm lease terms and move-in date. If you plan to arrive before your housing is available, book short-term stay options. University Health Insurance Plan, or UHIP, is mandatory for most international students in Ontario. Ensure you are enrolled through your college and know when coverage begins. Check if your school offers additional health benefits through a student union plan. If you are arriving before UHIP begins, arrange temporary health coverage for the gap period to ensure you are protected from day one. And consider getting extra coverage for services not covered by UHIP. Make sure that you bring along important documents such as letter of introduction and study permit approval, proof of financial resources, driver's license and insurance records, proof of vaccinations, and reference letters from previous employers. Also bring marriage certificate if your spouse is accompanying you. Birth certificates, proof of immunization, and school records of your children. Each airline has its own baggage allowance. Review your airline's website for details on the number of bags, weight limits, and size restrictions for both carry-on and checked luggage. Be mindful of security restrictions for international travel. Follow airline rules on carry-on items and declare all required items at customs when entering Canada or passing through transit countries. The Transition Plan tool helps you keep track of these tasks and set schedules and deadlines. Using the IRC resources and checklists available on the IRC website, you can identify all the things you need to do and add them to your own personalized plan. You may need to plan and set goals for a short-term stay, a full program, or even a transition to permanent residency after graduation. Whether you need to arrange for a healthcare provider, get a social insurance number, apply for a bursary, or make arrangements for summer housing, the transition plan can help you stay on track. If you are planning on making Canada your home after graduation, the transition plan is a helpful tool to help you plan for your application. For example, the Ontario Immigration Nominee Program has several requirements and steps, such as having enough funds in the bank to cover the fee when your application is processed and meeting employment requirements. Your personalized transition plan will send you reminders and keep track of your application. Here are the website links to the information covered in this webinar. There is the Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship IRCC website, the Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada IRCC website, and Edu Canada website. This webinar has been brought to you by the International Student Connect project. The Government of Ontario funds the Bilingual International Student Connect project to provide relevant resources and tailored services to address the settlement needs of international students and their families. Costi Immigrant Services, a community-based multicultural agency, serves over 39,000 clients annually from 17 locations in the Greater Toronto Area. Costi coordinates and administers this project across Ontario. If you have any questions, please either contact us by phone at 1-844-871-4567 or email us at isc@costi.org. Thank you for joining us today.